Go.
And
That's on the YouTube page instead. That's fine. Okie doke. So anyway, hola, howdy. We had a great race this weekend, in my opinion. But Kyle was there, so we're gonna let Kyle talk about it first. I mean, I don't know if you were there for the Xfinity race or the other race. I don't even
no,
know. Um,
Arca was Friday night, Saturday afternoon was Xfinity. I just went to the Cup race.
I saw you were like at Red Lobster or something around the Xfinity race time when you posted on Facebook. So I was like, I didn't know if you went or not. So,
The
uh,
what do you want me to talk about? Sunday, just being there.
yeah, we can recap the Xfinity race pretty quickly afterward. But I'm just curious how it was. I haven't been to a race since 2014, so it's been a decade.
Well, it was a beautiful day. We left the hotel. We stayed in Wilmington, which is about 40 miles north of Dover. So we stayed in Days Inn. We got out of there about 8. Got to the track about 9:30 or so. Parking was a nightmare. It usually is, but got nice, 87 degrees. I know you've been to Dover. It's been about 10 years. I guess that's where I met you. So
Yeah, that race. So that's
that
kind of
I guess that was actually 2012. So it's been longer than 12 years. But they made the fan experience there. Like, I think it's better. I've only been to 2 other racetracks, but the fan experience and the things that you can do with drivers and stuff before the race is just as good as any place that they go to. I mean, they really go all out, and the Monster Monument's always got a lot of things going on, and they just uh, it was cool because we were there early. I just wanted to chill out. I didn't want to rush or anything to get in there. We saw Kyle Busch in the Monster Monument. Then we just pretty much walked around the track a little bit and then went to our seats and pretty much chilled for a couple hours before the race started. That was the best Dover crowd that I've seen. Again, I've been going to Dover on a regular basis for about on and off for about 10, 12 years. When I met you in 12, I was right in the middle of my pretty much every year streak there. I started going and went to the spring race of 08. Then I went to both races, I think in 09, 10, 11, maybe even 12. But there were some good crowds there. But the crowd was, your dad just said the TV didn't make it look that way. It was. The front stretch was, I want to say, 90% full. And even the corners were 75 to 80% full. I'll talk about the race in a minute, but this was it wasn't good for me because I had to go to work Monday morning and get up at 5:15. The race ended about 5:35 or so, Matt. So get to my truck pretty quick. I did not move. I got in my truck, give or take, around 6:00. My buddy and we did not move until 8:00. It was brutal, dude. I've never had that much trouble getting out of Dover. It was atrocious. Then they finally opened another way, like an hour after. Then the police guy that was on his motorcycle was coming around the parking lot saying it's better to go that way. And finally followed that, and was finally able to get on the Route 13. Or 13, and I really didn't get going until about 8:30, 8:45, and I didn't get home till 11:00. Went right to bed. It was traffic was terrible, but I think that the good crowd created that situation. So for that, I'm happy for the sport because it was great. It was usually Dover in the spring the last several years. You and I know this, that weather's been an issue. That was the first time in 4 years where they got to race on Sunday. 21, I think, was postponed. 22, and of course last year. But we got a beautiful day. The race I thought was awesome. Being there in person, I mean, people were bitching and moaning, but when don't they bitch and moan? I thought the track started taking rubber very, very quickly. I mean, in person, you can see it. I felt 5 laps in, the corners were starting to darken and the rubber was starting to lay. I'm like, I figured it would. I know there were some concerns in practice qualifying with the lack of rubber laying down, but it was 55 degrees and chilly and overcast. So I wasn't surprised by that. And I think all the crew chiefs, well, the smart crew chiefs, set up for that hot, slick conditions. Started rubbering up, had a lot of guys come from the back, make passes. Larson from 21st was making passes early, so was Chase Elliott. At different times of the race, it felt like there was a lot of different guys that were in play. I thought Byron had the best car at moments. Truex got command of the race right there at the end of the first stage. Bowman looked good at times. I thought on the long runs, right before some of the cautions, he had some bad breaks with cautions and stage breaks. I thought his car was really starting to get to its apex at the end of some of them runs, and he kind of ran out of time, or just the run just kind of played to his disadvantage. But and then Larson got control there in the second stage. LaJoie stayed out, led a lot of laps in that pit sequence, and then my buddy Andy that I was with, he's a real big Larson fan. So I was really, really hoping with Blaney fading, he didn't look great in the second half of the race. I didn't expect him to. I was worried he had too much speed on Saturday, and they really didn't set up for the Sunday conditions, and it definitely seemed that way. They didn't adjust very well, but he had a top 10, but I could tell Larson was good early, made his way up through there, and I was pulling for him. I like Larson anyway, but I was really hoping for his sake. But at the end of the day, I'll be completely honest with you, Matt, that was agonizing to sit there and see Denny Hamlin win that race. And the driver that I dislike more than just about anybody, and my friend can't stand him. And for Larson to lose to him like that close, that was a gut punch. So I give the race I'm going to give it a B. I'm going to give it a B because the racing was good. There was a lot of passing. And I just thought at the end, the last run was kind of the worst run of the day because Larson was quicker. But I'm not going to hate on Denny. My dad was really pissed because he can't stand Hamlin. I mean, he despises him. And he's like, I bet Andy was upset. And I'm like, he was, but he's like, it is what it is. But I'm not going to blame Denny for doing his job. I mean, I saw your post about it. I was going to comment. I'm like, I'll just talk to him about it on the show. I'm not going to hate Denny for doing his job. I mean, they got I don't think he had the best. I think Larson was the best car for most of the second half of the race. Denny's got a great pit crew, and the cautions fell his way again. Larson got him on the green flag stops, and then they have a caution like right there at the end of the stage break. Then they had another one quick, and they came out, I guess, together on pit road, and then Denny gets control of the race due to his driver wrecking it again. Imagine that. It's set twice in 3 weeks where his car wrecks. That creates the caution and gets him the lead. But he gets control of the race, and then that caution.
Yeah, but Bubba. That wasn't just Bubba. That was
No. I was just saying that it was just frustrating because then once he got control of the race, and then they had that 60-lap run. I truly thought that Larson was going to be okay. I really did. He didn't let him get as far away as he had done the previous run. Then he still ran him down. I'm like, he's keeping him close. And I knew the previous run he told his crew chief he was managing his tires. And I'm like, maybe he's going to get him on the long run. But, I mean, I don't know what TV showed, but TV didn't do it justice, man. He was on him. I mean, he was right on him, like a car length or two it felt like 20 laps. And it just felt like there was a pocket of air that was just preventing him from getting that run to be able to draw even with him. Or lap cars were a problem, but they were both dealing with that. Denny's having a good year, man. I mean, I'm not gonna try to hate on him just to hate on him. I mean, I was rooting for Larson to win, but unless Denny made a mistake there, that last run in traffic, or lost the nose with the rubber in the corner or something, Kyle wasn't going to get him. But again, it wasn't for lack of effort. I mean, being there in person, you can just tell when a guy's searching. He went high, he went middle, he went low. And Denny was doing what he had to do. He was driving defensive, but Larson's won races like that. They've all won races like that. So what Denny was doing at the end of the race was nothing. And Larson even admitted it. He's like, Denny was air blocking me, but he said, I air blocked Bubba earlier in the race. I air blocked Bowman earlier in the race. he basically airblocked Reddick to win at Vegas. That's just part of it with those cars, you know. I just felt like the race was up to the last 50 laps of the race. I thought the race was very entertaining. A lot of different leaders, a lot of passing for long runs when the tires wore. The tire wear was good, so it created multiple grooves, and I thought guys were able to maneuver their cars around and make for a good show. And I just thought the last 50 laps that Denny was just kind of running at his own pace and just keeping Kyle at bay. And I just don't know if Kyle could ever made that pass if he wanted to. I don't know. I don't know if he was fast enough to pass him or it was just the air was just that much of a problem.
I didn't see this. I didn't hear this from Denny. I haven't listened to his podcast this week yet. I'm a little
Yeah.
behind. But to be
Mhm.
fair, if he did it, that's intelligent. I mean, he couldn't let Larson get the run from too far back because then the air block wouldn't have worked. He needed Larson to be just close enough for the air blocking to work before he got his run off of turn 3. So
I think the issue, Matt, is we know what the issue is. These cars they don't have enough horsepower, and when you burp the throttle,
flat out.
when you get out of the throttle, man, it takes a while to get them wound up. Like he was diamonding, it felt like he was diamonding 1 and 2 a little bit more, and I was just waiting for him to get a run off the top of 2 and just get a run on Denny on the back, and he gained on him, but he just could never seem to get that run enough to get under him or even get to his right rear. All he had to do was get to his right rear corner one time, and it was ball game. But again, I don't know if Denny was saving his stuff. He could have pulled away if he wanted to. I don't know all that. I don't know. I just felt that Kyle was the better car after about 20, 30 laps all day. And earlier in the race, he passed him 3 times on those longer runs, and at the end, he just either the car wasn't as good as it had been previously, or Denny kind of knew what he was doing the whole time, or what. But I really, with about 25 to go, I was pretty confident that Larson was going to get him. And then with about 10 to go, I'm like, no, he would have got him by now. I just felt like the cars were at that point so even. And if Kyle was in front, I think the same thing would have happened. I don't think Denny would have been able to pass him. And I would have been I mean, if you're a Larson fan, if you're a Denny fan, the air blocking thing's kind of a bummer. At these cars, you can do that, but you know, it's part, like Larson said, it's part of the deal now. It's a tool that everybody's using, and until it's fixed, until it's changed, and it's not a problem, all the guys are going to take advantage of it. I mean, you can't blame somebody for using a tool that's part of how the car handles to help them win a race. I mean, it is what it is.
Doing it. I mean, literally, anyone will do it.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Kyle Busch. I thought Kyle Busch ran a good race. I mean, that was the best car he's probably had start to finish the whole year. I felt he ran top 5 most of the race and finished 4th. So that was a good day for him. Truex was solid. But yeah, I thought for the most part it was a good competitive race, and in the end it was kind of just about track position and just trying to defend a line and just trying not to let somebody get in the air behind you. But it's part of it, man. But on to Kansas we go. But it was a good show. I know that I'm kind of running the show here. It's your show, but like
it's our
Xfinity
show.
race. I was on my I left my house at 2 to get down to the hotel was like a block away from the Red Lobster. I knew that. I've stayed there before. So I wanted to get down there about 4:30, get settled, then go to eat. And I was listening I have Sirius XM in my truck, so I was listening to the Xfinity race. Man, I was hoping like hell for Carson Clawful. I was. And then
I literally felt
there.
heartbreak. Like I felt legit.
He's gonna win plenty of races. And then you got Truex who's basically admitting that he kind of shoved him out of the way to get a win, but you'll have this. You know, your guys that don't run that often. Ryan probably feels a lot of pressure
over the weekend. Good.
He probably feels a lot of pressure when he's in that car, Matt. All right, if he gets those cars, what's he get? Like, I don't know, 8 to 10 races a year. He feels like he should win every time he's in the car, and obviously he was going to run Dover, and he puts a lot of effort into that race for obvious reasons. So it's cool. It was happy for him to win. I didn't see the pass for the win. My dad said he basically just shoved him up out of the way, and Ryan basically admitted that. I don't like to see anybody win a race that way, especially taking a win away from a kid like that. But the kid's learned that's only going to help him going forward. And 2 races and 2 top 5s, I guess, Martinsville and Dover. So I think the future is pretty bright for young Mr. Quaffle. So it would have been cool to see him get a win there, but
way brighter than his
he's going
dad.
to be fine. Travis had a good truck career, and then,
Great truck driver. Not so much outside of truck.
Yeah, and then the ARCA race. The ARCA race was a mess again. Like it always is.
Dude, I'm done. Like I'll watch, but I'm done really caring or even remembering who wins at this point. They're just like you said, it's an absolute nightmare nowadays. They race this Saturday at Kansas. But anyway, I have 2 takeaways, kind of 3 from Kansas that I really want to, or Dover, that I really want to speak on. We have in the past been told we sleep on Martin. We saw at the end of stage 2 why we don't sleep on Martin. His pit crew is horrendous compared to everyone else's. At least the contenders. Larson, Byron, Bowman, Elliott, Hamlin. Their pit crews just do circles around what Martin's getting. He's getting 13.6 second stops. Like Martin's just not. His crew just isn't it. Yeah, his crew's just not it. So I do feel bad for Martin because I think that put him behind. And once you get behind these tracks with these cars, it's hard to get back to the front. And one of the other takeaways I definitely have is Larson admitted it after the race, but man, he sucks on restarts.
He does.
He is
I told my friend
so bad.
I said, dude, why is he struggle on restarts? He spins his tires like crazy. Like he's so good on long runs.
Like he admitted that's what he needs to work on, but whew.
Yeah. I knew when the caution came out, even the initial caution after the stage break, the initial caution, he had control of the restart. But Denny beat him anyway. I mean, even I think Denny was on the inside or the out. I can't remember. I guess Denny was on the inside.
Inside.
Kyle's
he's
not good on restarts. It's just I don't know what he's got everything else down, but the restart game is lacking for sure. But yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I noticed that one good restart there at the end, and he probably would have been okay. But just something that he has to work on.
And the last takeaway is a Gibbs issue, I think. They need to look into this. But every race this year but one, Christopher Bell has either got caught speeding or their pit crew has made a mistake that has cost him multiple positions. Every race but one this season. So there's a lot of issues going on in pit road for the 20 team, the 19 team. They got to kind of start. I don't know what's going on, but it might be worth looking into for Gibbs.
The Bell's got this issue with either being the fastest car on the track or just not looking good at all. It's so odd to me.
I mean, I was happy with 12th or something. I don't remember.
He was running third. I saw that he was really bad early. Then I saw him on the that really long run. He got up to 13th. I'm like, all right. And then he got caught when the caution came out there. Got caught like a lot of guys lapped down, and then he was trapped back there. And then he got in a wreck. But I don't understand how. Again, it seems like he's like blistering fast. Or they just missed the setup and he's caught back there, and then he gets frustrated and he overdrives the car. He tries to overcompensate and then he loses it. Look what he did in qualifying. So,
yeah,
kid's got a ton of talent, but I just the inconsistency, man. He's got if he wants to think about contending for a championship, he's got to get that climb up.
All right, we move on to Kansas this weekend. There are 3 races. No Xfinity Series race this weekend. ARCA is like 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday. If anyone wants to watch it Eastern time, you can watch it on Fox Sports. I'll have it up, but I'm not. Backlash, WWE Backlash starts at noon because it's in France, so I'll have that as the priority. But then we go truck racing. 8 o'clock at night Eastern time at Kansas, so 7 local time, 6 for Mountain, and 5 for Western, or Pacific. Who you got winning the truck race? I made my picks on Sunday while I was watching Dover. I did a little Kansas research, and I wrote Ankrum, but I have changed it since, and I feel confident for some reason. So I'm curious who you got winning it.
Well, mine's gonna be off the wall here. Brett Moffitt is driving the one truck for Tricon Garage, and I think Brett Moffitt is going to win in that truck. Brett Moffitt is a good driver. He's a good truck driver. He's a champion. That's a good truck. It's basically the all-star truck, the truck that Christopher Bell runs, and Breidinger drove it once, and your boy Sawalich drove it. It's a good truck. I think it's the second best truck in that stable behind the 51. And not what's Corey's number? 11. Sorry, I don't know why
11.
I said he was 51 for Kyle Busch, but Corey's 11. I think the one's the second best truck. If Moffitt gets in that truck and runs well or wins, I think you could see him in that truck more often. And
I like him actually a lot. So
I think a one-off. He's good at trucks. These trucks really haven't changed that much since he's been in them. He did win. He's the last. Now it's not a Ford, but he is the last Ford to win. He won in that 34 truck at Talladega last fall. But why he doesn't have a ride to me is mind-boggling. I think he's a good, solid driver. But this one-off appearance, I look for him to do pretty well. I'm going to say first start for Tricon, first win from Brett Moffitt.
all right. So I like I said, I originally took Ankrum. I then rethought it, almost took Heim. Thought about Eckes a little bit, and I wound up settling after doing a little bit of just overall thoughts and research. And I'm going with Raja Caruth. I've got a very strong Raja Caruth feeling this weekend.
I like that. I like that because you're probably going off in Vegas, and Vegas and Kansas are very, very similar.
Yep. And I feel like he's going to have a good truck. He's going to have a good. I'm hoping he has some speed. And honestly, Kansas is becoming it already was a decent track, but with these new everything, it's just getting better and better as it's wearing out.
Kansas is one of the best. Kansas has become one of the raciest tracks on the circuit. They need to leave it
leave it alone.
Leave it alone. I'm just going to leave it at that. Leave it alone. It's perfect.
So I'm really excited for this Saturday night race, and I'm even happier that Backlash is during the day because I don't have to debate which one to watch. So that's pretty great.
The only thing about, I'll just comment on that real quick. I'm a wrestling fan too. There's B shows. It's probably not going to be much. The buildup has been awful, and then
it's been atrocious.
You're not going to have any title changes, so it's
it's dumb to have the quote unquote draft the week before a pay per view.
Yeah, after the feuds aren't going to be worth a damn, and it's like I think it was kind of odd how they went about all that, but that's for a different show. But yeah, I was going to say that the buildup has been not good.
No, it's really bad. All right. So we got Cup racing at 2:30, I think. If I got that right, 3:30, 2:30 Sunday.
Maybe weather don't look good, but we'll see.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm hoping it clears out because I can't watch it on Monday. Yeah, 3:00 Eastern. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, my first two picks are gonna be very disappointing for a lot of people. But let's go ahead and give you your shot. Who you got winning Kansas?
Well, we're probably gonna have the same picks just flipped. And I don't know how you can go wrong with these two guys. I'm going to go Larson because last year, Denny and Larson dominated the race. Denny put him in the wall. Well, I'll admit, Denny didn't wreck him at the end. Larson kind of spun himself out, but they battled for the win. Denny got him late. Larson's won here several times. Dominated the race at Vegas. Again, we go back to Caruth in the trucks. If you're good at Vegas, I got to think you're going to be pretty damn good at Kansas. So, Larson's been fast this year, dude. He's leading the points. Sunday was his 6th stage win of the year, and he only has the one win, but he's done everything. He's having a phenomenal season. He really has a lot of speed.
Yeah, a lot of pit road mistakes and dumb restart. His lack of ability to do restarts is just
he had the field in his back pocket at Texas until the wheel thing. He had a rocket ship. Cars are fast every week, and one of these weeks he's going to put one together and get another win. I mean, it's just a matter of time. He's too fast to be. I know he's getting behind the 8 ball with bonus points to Byron and Denny, but he's just as fast as they are. He just needs to have some luck go his way and execute one of these restarts or pit stops. And
the next two tracks are Kyle Larson tracks, so I mean, there's a very good chance that he catches right back up.
Just have a car faster than everybody on the racetrack, and Kansas is a great place for him. Moving around, different grooves, running high, low, old tires. Should be a good week for Kyle Larson.
Yep. You're probably right then on us having him flipped because I've got back-to-back wins for the number 11. I haven't had him in my top 5 since week 2 of the season, but I've got him winning this one. like you said, he won
I,
Kansas.
I,
I mean, Kyle
I'll make
wrecked
it easy.
himself in a way with Denny.
Yeah. He did. He did for sure. Now he didn't at Pocono, but Kansas he did.
No, he didn't have Pocono was 100% Denny. So I assume you have Denny second.
Yes, sir, I do. Yeah, I
All
wanted
right,
to
so
clear
yeah,
that up.
we've just got him flipped because I just have Hamlin winning again because Kansas is, like you said, with Larson, another one of his great tracks. And I think these two are just going to be the two best cars of the weekend. It's boring, I know. I'm sorry, it's not exciting, but until somebody beats these two consistently, like William Byron's winning races, but he's not leading a lot of laps. I mean, hell, Christopher Bell's won a race and he's only led like 62 laps this season.
Yeah, Denny and Larson are the two best cars. It's pretty clear that they're the head and shoulders above the field right now, with pure speed week in week out.
So my dad's top five is Martin Truex for the win, Denny, then Larson, then Wallace, and then Chase Elliott. So
Bubba is a solid pick. This is his best racetrack, by a long shot. He has a win here. He's got a lot of. I mean, that's not a bad pick at all. I'm not gonna argue with that one.
I agree. All right, so we both got first, second done. So who's third for you?
Third, I'm gonna go Byron. Just the consistency's there. He had a good run on Sunday again until he got bit by the caution in the middle of pit stops and got in the back and got in that wreck. But he's always solid. He's always seemed to be a top 5 car. Just about everywhere. I mean, I hate to be kind of mundane with the picks, but I mean, it's hard to pick.
I just hate the fact that I have him third as well.
Well, hey man, it gets the show done faster if we don't have to elaborate too much. I just think it's so damn hard to pick against him because he's either qualifies good or he's always in the hunt, man. He's always in the hunt, and I don't see, unless they miss the setup, I just don't see him not being a top 5 car.
No, I agree. All right, who you got fourth?
Oh, fourth. Again, I'm gonna stick to the guys that I know running well. Kansas. I'm gonna go Truex, man. He's got wins there, always good a mile and a half. It's just so hard to pick against these group of 3 or 4 guys right now. They seem to be the consistent head and shoulders. You have somebody at once in a while, one of these weeks get somebody else in there, but it seems like these 4 or 5 guys have been solid all year. But I'm ready for Truex to win, man. He's been so close, won a lot of stages, led a lot of laps this year. Just doesn't have that win yet, but Kansas is a good place for him. I wouldn't see any reason why he wouldn't be a factor.
I got Bubba here. Like you said, it's his best track. I think he could win this. I do think he has a very good shot. If it's not a Hendrick or a Gibbs car, it has to be him. Which they're Gibbs light, so I mean, same thing.
Oh yeah,
but I think he's just really. I mean, this is his best track. I think he's already got a win here, and I think he's going to. After his last 2 weeks have been so frustrating, I think he's going to rebound here and get himself back into the conversation.
Can I just say,
being a legit?
I just want to say about him. Nothing against him. I mean, for reasons that we know people are going to take it. I just think he needs to be careful with the way he talks about other drivers. I mean, he did it again. He basically said, "Go to a track, not be with the squirrels," or something like that. It's like, man, you're not going to gain, you're not going to gain, respect or
fan. I wasn't a fan of how he handled himself after the race.
Yeah, he's just. I know it's frustration. I know it's passion. I get it. I'm okay with that. But bro, you gotta. You know how your standing is with the media and fans as it is. It's just like, I don't know if he's just embracing it or that's just how he is. I just you got to race against these guys 32 weeks or 36 weeks a year. You got to race against them next week. Just kind of try to bite your tongue a little bit, but I get it. I get the frustration.
All right, so who you got fifth?
Well, I mean, it's kind of in the same token as Bubba there, his teammate Tyler Reddick. Again, Tyler's so good on these worn out tracks. He's really good at Vegas. He was right on Larson at the end. He was good at Texas. Just good track. He won this race last fall. Restart beat his teammate at the end, so he did win the fall race. good track for him. He feels like he's won more than he has this year. He has the Talladega win, but he's been fast at just about every track. So
Yeah.
look for him to be good again. He was good on Sunday, then he kind of faded. He was nowhere to be found at the end. I'm not sure what happened. I guess he kind of lost some track position at the end. But I look for Reddick to be good. That 45 car, won here with Bubba, and I guess fall of 22. They switched them around because of Kurt's injury or whatever. But that car won this race. Well, actually, they won both races that year because Kurt won the spring race. Then Kurt got hurt, and then they switched to Cruz. So that 45 car has a good history at Kansas, and wouldn't be surprised to see Tyler right up in the thick of things again this week.
Yep. I like that pick a lot. I thought about him for the top 5. I thought about what my dad said with Chase Elliott being 5th. I thought about Bowman. People can sleep on him all they want. The dude is fucking driving his wheels off right now. And I loved his attitude on pit road. Some people were like, he's such a baby. I loved that he was showing fucking fight. I will do anything to watch a driver show some fight like that when he's quote unquote on a hot seat, according to a lot of people. He's not, in my opinion, but
be damn with teammates, right?
Look, he was frustrated. It really wasn't Larson's fault. Larson couldn't do anything. He was pinned up against the wall. Denny couldn't do anything because Denny had to swerve to avoid Briscoe getting into pit road. It was a mess. I mean, Dover's pit road is tight.
In his defense, in Alex's defense, Larson blocked the hell out of him twice that I saw. That he could have got a run on him and probably took the lead. He made sure that he cut him off enough that cut his air off. I understand it, but you can't at that point in the race. We got less than 100 to go. That might be control of the race when the stage ends or a caution comes out. You can't just give that up at that point in the race. So I get it, but at the same time, Kyle's got his own race to run. You can't just let that. You can't give up that track position at that point in the race.
All right. So anyway, my 5th, I wound up settling on someone who actually is continuously overperforming the past couple of weeks and finished 5th again. And I'm keeping him in 5th because he is driving to prove something right now, and I'm taking Noah Gragson. I mean, he's just been good the past few weeks, and he got lucky with the. I mean, let's be realistic. He got lucky with the caution in the middle of the pit strategy, but he didn't just disappear. He's kept his position and battled. I love what I'm seeing out of Noah Gragson right now. He's fighting. I really, it's hard to keep taking Stewart-Haas guys. I took Briscoe a couple weeks ago, but one of these guys every week is decent. They're not great. They're decent. And I think he can get himself a top 5. I don't know. He's getting a lot of respect, too. I know Kyle Busch has really said a lot of nice things about Noah, and I know Denny had some nice things to say about him. So he's getting some respect, too, which I love to see.
I think he's matured a little bit. A lot, actually. I think he's really grown up a lot, had some adversity, and learned his lesson. I think he's a new person for the better.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm hoping he finishes top 5 too. Like I said, I really am starting to like him, and I'm starting to really enjoy what I see out of his attitude too. He's funny now. I'm just gonna warn you ahead of time, and everyone else. I mean, it might change by then, but since I keep our notebook thing and I'm keeping like score of our average finishes, for the record, I've already gone all the way to wherever the fuck in August or late July and wrote in Denny Hamlin for Pocono.
Well, as long as Larson's beside him on a restart, he can just crowd him and we'll put him in the wall. Fine.
The guy, he's got 7 wins there now. 9 maybe. I don't remember what it's at.
Yeah, remember last year when he won, he was counting on his fingers, being a jackass.
Yeah. I just had to say it because I know a lot of people hate him. Again, he's not my favorite driver. He's not one of my top 5 favorite drivers, but I enjoy him, and I enjoy that everyone hates him so much because it's like.
I get that. You have that personality. Dude, no, I'm okay with that. I get it. I completely understand. And because you kind of got that same, like, I don't know.
Controversy. I love controversy.
No, like, brash, like, trying to like standoffish, I guess, maybe kind of what I'm trying to say. Like, I completely understand why you kind of like the way his personality, because he's trying to help the sport out. Honestly, he's just one of those guys that sometimes he says some dumb things at the wrong time and just kind of gets himself in trouble. But think he means well. He just has to kind of rein it back in and try to go about it a different way. But he's definitely I think he's become the new I think he's the new Kyle Busch. You know, you love him or hate him. It's not nowhere in between. You're either a Hamlin fan or you're a Hamlin hater, and you root against him.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I root against him is if Bell's in front of him. Otherwise, I don't care. I'm like, go ahead and win the race. I don't give a shit.
You just like the shit show that comes after it. I get it.
I enjoy everything about Denny. I look forward to his show every week because I love listening to him.
Yeah, I get it. I understand that that viewpoint on it.
Yeah, okay. So Denny's dad told him to tune it down, and I get it. And he told him to get rid of that stupid "I beat your favorite driver" thing. It was too cringy, so I will give him that. It was cringy as hell.
Yeah.
But I mean, NASCAR needed a villain. And look, and I'm not trying to say like the standard thing, but like Kyle Larson's NASCAR's best driver. I think he's the world's best driver. But he's about as exciting as a human being as a fucking apple. There is nothing exciting about Kyle Larson as a human being. He is a very boring standard. You need someone, when you have that top dog and he's that boring, you need somebody else that's at the top to at least bring some type of something.
He's quiet. Yes, he is.
And he does. I mean, he knows his driving does all it for him. He doesn't have to talk. And Denny feels like he has to talk more than ever because he can't win a title. And he's not. Look, he probably could this year, but I think he's going to get in his own way when it comes down to the final 8 races, and he's going to do something stupid.
That's the question I wanted to ask before I know we're over, but I wanted to ask you that. I don't know if there's a poll that you could start up or something just for the hell of it. That's what I wanted to ask. Glad you brought it up. Do you think it's Denny's year, or do you think he will still choke when it matters?
Yeah, I'll put a poll. I'll put a poll on the podcast, on the Spotify thing. I'll put a poll on the YouTube page and our Twitch page, and we'll see what it all comes back with.
It's a simple question. Do you think it's just his year? He's good everywhere. Or do you think when a push comes to shove, he'll choke it? I mean, there's no other way to say it. He just won't get the job done at Phoenix when it matters.
Yeah. I mean, last year it was the week before Phoenix. He just always something for Denny. But all right, I know we're over. Next week is Darlington, correct?
Yes, sir.
Throwback paint jobs. We've seen already Kyle Larson's awesome ass Terry Labonte tribute. We've seen the Lowe's tribute for Jimmy Johnson for Bowman. I haven't seen many of the other.
The Ancom's truck is the Russ Wheeler scheme from Days of Thunder.
Dope.
Oh my god, it is.
And I actually love Darlington, so I'm really fucking thrilled about next week. Kansas is becoming one of my favorite tracks, but Darlington always will be. So
Darlington's always good, man. You can't mess Darlington up.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll catch you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Enjoy some racing. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us.